Hi, my name is Roger, and I'm a senior product design student at Drexel University. So what do these things have in common? Wheelchair ramps, sanitizing toilet seat covers, emojis. They're three very different solutions that cater to different problems in people. Well, let's take a look at wheelchair access. It's probably one of the most well-known examples of accessibility in the past 50 years. And toilet seat sanitation takes something that's normally seen as gross in the public and makes it more comfortable and usable. And when Apple diversified their emojis in 2015, they simply added the depth of inclusivity to something that was already well designed and enjoyable. Wedge. This was one of my first inclusivity focused projects I worked on spring term in 2022. I took a look at public transportation in the United States and how it's historically been mistreated by a lack of meaningful development. So let's take a look at the London Tube, for example. Full platform screen doors for safety on the edge of the tracks. And here's the subway where I live in Philadelphia. It's not just unsafe and outdated, but it reflects a larger systemic issue about how we care for public spaces. So we're definitely due for an improvement. But as I continue researching, I uncovered a larger accessibility problem with transit systems in the Northeast. The doors and the platforms don't even line up, often leaving 3 inches or even more of a vertical gap between the platform and train doors. As you can imagine, this presents a challenge for wheelchair users and people with all kinds of mobility issues when they're simply trying to get on and off the train. SEPTA and Amtrak have current solutions where the conductor might unlock a metal ramp, bring it out, and put it down, but from my experience, that often goes like this: flagging down the conductor, waiting, and waiting. Now, nobody in a wheelchair or conducting a train even would want to be put in this position. So how can we make it better? Wedge is a simple 4-piece system designed to increase platform safety in existing train stations, while simultaneously increasing accessibility for people with mobility issues. The base plate's installed on the edge of the platform, and then a fence piece slides out into each plate for platform safety. And where train doors line up with the platform, a block component can be installed to create a nice, smooth, even surface. The base plates are height adjustable to accommodate different platforms and transit systems, and can be extended so that the ramp angle is always 5 degrees and ADA compliant. All in all, this ends up being a fairly low-cost solution that is quick to install and can emulate like 90% of the safety of full-height platform screen door systems. I hope to inspire us to stop turning a blind eye to the state of transportation in America and try to find equitable solutions like Wedge that everyone can benefit from. So later that year, I took part in a 3-person team project with the goal of exploring the future of products for ostomy patients in order to turn something that's often stigmatized into a statement. So what does this industry look like? So we started out by interviewing ostomates, and we learned that it's typically characterized by trying to solve practical issues like leakage, going outside of the ostomy bag, maintaining adhesion to the body, and especially in finding ways to hide the bag underneath their clothing, which are all super important areas to address. But we wanted to look further past any existing technology in this area to conceptualize something totally different that could change the way ostomists live. So we created Stomatic, a futuristic system for removing and emptying waste from an ostomy without ever having to come into contact with it. It consists of a handheld device the ostomate carries with them that can easily clip to a bag by squeezing and releasing the side buttons. The circular port on the bottom connects to an implant that the ostomate wears, which relieves waste into the device on contact. So our research in 2022 indicated that this kind of ostomy implant was already in trial phases in some Scandinavian countries, which gave us real hope that this could be a possible future. It's an internal implant made up of a soft lattice structure surgically inserted around the stoma to make a port. And on the outside of the body, we made a flexible connector that slides around the stoma port, as well as a one-way check valve that allows fluid to release when it makes contact with the handheld device. So here's how the waste is removed. No more leaky ostomy bags, no more making a mess. The ostomate simply inserts a bio bag which fills with use and can be safely released over a trash can when it's full. So we thoughtfully designed the underside of the Stomatic device to fit to the contours of the human body, but we also designed it for sanitation so that if the user wants to sit it on a countertop or a table or something, they can do so easily without the port ever touching anything. We wanted to make the Stomatic a statement piece. We see a future where something that's normally tedious and problematic can be easy and even cool to use. So thank you to Al Pachowski and Sam Martell for helping me with this project. So this year I got to switch gears a little bit and finally work on something very personal to me. So I'm a pianist, I'm electronic music nerd, I'm super passionate about music education and the process of learning new things. So I wanted to make an electronic instrument that can manipulate sound in ways that are easy for people to learn and understand. So learning something new is hard. I needed to know more about how this process works. So I began by speaking with 12 different individuals who had tried to learn a new instrument before, each with varying levels of success. So I gathered information on their learning habits and music education, asking questions about the resources they used, what kind of hindrances and motivators they faced, and I tried to really assess the weak points in their journey of learning this new thing. So one thing really stuck out to me from the responses. We need to simplify. Like, it sounds obvious, but getting someone past that initial stage of learning how an object works through simple visuals, organized interfaces, and giving appropriate feedback to them is like half the battle in keeping them interested in it at all. It really should feel like a discovery rather than a struggle. And the key element to this simplicity in my project sound palette is visual accessibility. So attaching simple animations to sound to reinforce an understanding of the changes that you're making in real time. And I got a lot of help with this recently by making a simple test where I got people to sit down with me and just ask them to twist a knob on a synthesizer and draw what they hear. So I got a lot of visual data out of people that way. So much of this project has been a learning experience for myself at the same time. In anything electronic related, there's always this push-pull, chicken-egg type thing between design and engineering. I knew if I wanted to have a successful prototype that people could interact and play with, I would really need to understand both sides of things. And here's the prototype, nearly finished. It's a visually accessible electronic musical instrument, can animate sound functions, it has simple controls, and it shows how your inputs are handled in real time. And those are just a few things that it does to help you get past being a noob and get into the groove. No more hiding things behind menus, no more complicated keystrokes that someone has to memorize. Every sound parameter is graphically represented and ready to be messed with to create a unique sound. So there's so much more that I wish I could share about this, but I guess I'll end with this. Whether it's transportation design, medical equipment, musical instruments, or whatever it may be, if we can consider the needs of all users, we can create a more inclusive world where everyone can participate fully and without barriers. Thank you.